All right, everybody, we got Zach Melton, if you haven't noticed.
What up?
Super stoked. Another East Tennessee boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way. How about them damn Vols?
Oh, baby. Dude, I'm stoked. I think Neyland's getting a home playoff game. I really do. I don't see how they don't get a home playoff game.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I hope so, but I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to keep us down for some reason.
Well, I mean, we know everybody. They hate us. They've always hated us. It goes back to giving freaking Charles Woodson the Heisman over Peyton. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. But yeah, we'll find out tonight. It's Tuesday. We're recording on Tuesday, so we'll find out a little bit something tonight. Do you think, or what do you think about the 12 team so far?
I think it's a money grab. I think 4 was fine, but then 5 was complaining. 5 and 6 these were complaining. I think 8 would have been perfect, but then 9 and 10 would have complained. And I think they think 12 fixes it, but guess what? 12 and 13 or 13 and 14 are going to complain. They're going to be like, "Oh, it's not fair."
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do 16, honestly, because there's just more money for them, for the NCAA. But
it'll go that way, I'm sure.
Yeah, eventually they're going to be like, well, we're going to have. What if they go to like 64 teams? Like, that'd be wild.
This is a disc golf podcast.
No, we're going to talk Tennessee football for a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
brother, it's not disc golf season; it's football season.
It's going to be. Do you think the voters are going to be able to keep the championships out of the vote? Like they're saying, they're not going to count a bad loss in a championship game against the teams, but I just don't see it.
Oh no, it's recency bias is real. Yeah. You go get blown out in your championship game, you done. Like Penn State right now, they've got ranked like what, 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They play Oregon, which they do. They do play Oregon, right? Do they play Indiana?
No, they play Oregon, and Penn State's only beat one ranked team all year.
Their schedule's weak, and if they get beat by Oregon by like 40, I think they drop all the way to would it be 9 through 12? They would be, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. That's what I was kind of thinking. The same thing. I hope we end up with a home game. I mean, Neyland, a home playoff game.
Denver,
you can't not win.
Oh, that'd be. I mean, I would love to go personally, but I'm not ready to drop $400 for fucking nose.
Yeah, they'd be fucking brutal. The prices would be absolutely brutal.
I picked the wrong sport, man.
All right, we'll get into some disc golf. How's the off season going?
Going good. So you can see the hoodie. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I am an assistant coach at Milligan University now with the disc golf team. They brought me on in the summer, and so college disc golf is pretty cool. Their season is like the touring season, off season. I know I said season a lot there, but
it's a lot of season.
Yeah, well, there's always on season, but no, it's been fun. Pretty much our tour winded down, and kind of got to jump in and start working with those kids and helping them get better. And we went to 1 tournament so far. We've got 3 or 4 more planned. It's been really fun. And so it's kind of, like helping teach and helping other people get better. It's kind of like you go back to some basics, and as you're teaching, and you kind of dive back in and do stuff that you kind of take for granted or you haven't done in a while. And it's kind of made it fun to get out and play disc golf again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I see any highlights or anything from any of the college teams playing, it's always heart. Those guys play with a lot of heart.
Yeah, they play for like the love of the game. It's
absolutely.
But no, it's been really fun. That's been cool. And then obviously, I mean, if people don't know by now, like obviously I'm a big fan of pickleball. And so when tour season winds down, I'm out there playing a lot of pickleball, gotta lob the old folks. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Almost got to keep it real with them,
When it comes to the college disc golf, like you've got they have dubs and singles and everything all in all in the same tournament, right?
Correct. So
now, go ahead. I was just wanting to know, like, is that part of something the coach does, is try to team up the right dubs players for that course, or do you usually stick with the same dubs? Or
Yeah, so when it comes to doubles, at least the way we've done it so far, like you kind of have an idea who's going to be like on your top team, your next team, your next team. We actually have a lot of kids at Milligan. We have 23 kids on our team, which is a lot more than most schools. And we have 3 ladies involved, so we've got 20 guys, and like technically you can only field 3 teams at nationals, like a D3, a D2, and a D1. So that sucks because some people get left out. But
Yeah.
the good thing about me being brought on is like I'm more hands on. Like they have my number. They can reach out to me however they can, and a lot of them are taking advantage, asking me to come out and meet them for do field work or go play rounds with them. Help. They're like, hey, I'm struggling with this shot, and so I'm helping them work on stuff, and so I'm with them, daily. We're seeing who's really putting in a lot of work and improving. And, you can kind of tell, some people it clicks, obviously if you play disc golf, like you get better and then you kind of stall and then you get better. So you kind of know whose game's improving, who's kind of stalled. And so we kind of have an idea who's on what team and who plays where. But we also, like with our first tournament a month and a half ago, we kind of made a switch with like our top team and our second team, kind of gave a guy who'd been on the team for like the last 4 years a chance to play up, while giving another guy a chance to go down and kind of play a little bit more relaxed. And so, it's that dynamic is interesting, trying to figure out like, which buttons to push and who to put where. And
Yeah.
it's a learning process, but it's been fun to do for sure.
Yeah. Is there ever any like turmoil, like amongst the teammates that have to do, like the guy that had to play down? Is there anything like that?
Oh, so much. Oh my gosh, so much crying. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'd imagine that guy for sure.
No, we got a rule. If you cry, you're off the team,
Okay.
That's a good rule.
If you cry, go play kendama. I don't know. Kendama's okay, I guess. It's hard.
I guess. I don't know. No. Everybody. That's the one thing I've really loved is like that team atmosphere, that dynamic. Like, dude, everybody gets along. Everybody, so funny. They're so silly. It's like, I love it. Like if I'd been brought on and like I would still enjoy teaching and stuff like that, the game, but this group like has a lot of fun when they play, which is how I play. If you've followed me for the last 9 years, everybody knows I like to have a good time. Like that's part of it. I think if you're enjoying it, you're going to play better. So it's been a lot of fun.
Is this something that you probably are going to end up putting a lot of time in, and maybe for future endeavors, something that maybe long term? Or
yeah, so I mean I've been touring since 2016, which it feels like it wasn't that long ago. I quit my job at the Y to travel full time. It really doesn't. But then when I say since then, it's like, damn, it's a while.
COVID happened this
I just turned 37, and so I don't want to play 40 tournaments a year anymore. I just don't, not really in the. I used to try to play every single weekend and make end of the year. I'm like, how many tournaments can I squeeze in? I just don't want to do that anymore. And so kind of nice that our season, is throughout the year, and then we get done, and then the college season is really kind of in full swing. And I definitely see I'm not going to say priorities because I still love playing. I still want to compete and play, right? But I do see my priorities kind of shifting to where, I find myself wanting to give more and more time with them. And it's kind of like a full-time gig when my other full-time gig is on a break,
Yeah.
So that is kind of a blessing, but I think down the road for sure. I've really enjoyed it so far. I've only been doing it for like 3 months technically, but I've really enjoyed it. And so I'd like to see like us grow Milligan, to one of the best programs in the country. One of my main goals, I'm trying as hard as I can to recruit more ladies. I want us to have like 5, 6, 7, 8 girls playing, because that's, I'm all about women's disc golf. Like I've always been a big supporter of my friends who play on the FBO side. Like I think it'd be really cool to have that. I mean, we have 3 girls now. One of them is a freshman. She just came on and she's new, and I think she has a lot of potential, but she's very new. But our other 2 girls are like ranked top 2. They're ranked 2nd and 4th in the nation. So
wow.
That's really.
I was going to ask, do other schools FPO team, are they pretty strong? Or
Emporia State, where EMAC, they have like 6 girls or something, 5 or 6, or maybe 7. I could be wrong, but That's super dope. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Got a couple killers for sure. One girl in particular, I think Atlanta Kruger. I think she's ranked #1 in the country right now. So yeah, I mean, they have a good team, and I know our top 2 girls are really solid as well. So I'm excited to see, hopefully by nationals, in April, how our girls do. But I think they have a legit shot to win it all. I really do.
Hell yeah! You got any dudes? You got any dudes on there?
Oh, we got some dudes, man. We got some dudes. One in particular, Ben Wagner. He is rated over 1,000. He is a killer. He is so good. He actually, it's kind of wild, his story of how he came to Milligan. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. He just happened to search disc golf scholarships, and Milligan popped up, and he reached out to Tim Barr, who's like the head coach. I don't know if you guys know Tim, but he's been running our local scene
for
years, it seems like, and so yeah, that's how he ended up here from Illinois. And I think he finished 3rd last year in singles at nationals. He's good, and he's best player on the team, and he's asking me every day, how can I get better? What can I work on? So if your best player has that work ethic, I think that sets the standard for everybody. But no, our D1 team has definitely gotten better. One of the guys on our D1 team, Ethan Bishop, I think like a year ago, he was playing, I think he was rated like low 900s, and now he's 70. I mean, it's cool to see the work that they put in. They want to get better, but there's some really good teams out there. We went a tournament at Northwoods in Peoria. That was our first event, and we got our D2 bid there. Our D2 team finished 3rd, I believe. And then we got our D3 team did well. I think they finished top 3. Our only one of our ladies could go, so there was no team, so she just played singles and she won. That's Lily, who's ranked 2nd in the country, I believe. And then our D1 team finished 5th, which is good, but only top 3 got a D1 bid. But the Cincinnati team, their disc golf team shot -14 on 18 holes in team.
Oh wow!
On Northwoods Black, not like
That's nuts.
I walked out there, dude. I walked with our group. Our kids did well. They finished poorly. Or their last 4 holes, they finished bad.
Yeah,
but good. Like other teams were playing. They were playing with the legit Northwoods Black layout, and I saw that Cincinnati team shot 14 down. I was like, oh my god,
that'd have been fun to watch.
For real,
that's crazy.
Thing. But sorry, Ben did win singles at that tournament. So
really?
Oh, okay, cool. So he's a dude. You got some dudes on the team.
The dude.
That's just I've only seen college disc golf really take off the last couple of years, maybe even this last season. Like, is this something? Has college disc golf always had a pretty big presence, or is it just starting to kind of get to that level of where more people are talking about it? There's more coverage of it. It's being talked about on social media a lot more lately. Like, do you think it's starting to kind of get bigger? Or?
Yeah, I think they've seen a crazy amount of growth over the last couple of years, from what I can tell. Back when I was like starting in disc golf around here, I had some buddies who went to ETSU, in Johnson City, and they played on the ETSU disc golf team, but they were like a club team, right? They paid for everything. They did all that stuff. And so even then I know they had nationals and stuff like that, but it was still kind of smaller. I don't know the numbers, but I know it's insane how many kids were at nationals last year. Like insane. A lot of schools, a lot of kids, like they're going and they're paying for it on their own dime. Like, the one thing I think that's super crazy cool, like about Milligan, is the athletic director loves disc golf, dude. We have a budget. The kids don't have to pay for anything, bro. Like, we get to take them to tournaments.
Awesome.
They bill stipends, they get their fees covered, like the hotel, like everything, so
that's awesome.
It's really cool. From the interactions I've had with some other people from other schools, like, bro, for real, like that. So I think it's cool to see it being taken more seriously, and I think you're going to see a trend of that over the next 3 to 5 years, where schools are going to kind of see more value in it. But no, it's definitely boomed the last couple of years. But show.
Is there any good shit talk between you and EMAC?
Oh, for sure. Are you kidding?
Gotta have it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was walking like he would always go. So during the team finals on Northwood Black, we actually played with Emporia State, uh, our Milligan A team, our D1 team with their D1 team.
It's
And
awesome.
yeah, our guys asked if I would walk with them. So I was like, yeah. So I kind of walked with them at the tee. EMAC was like at the basket, and then they would throw drives and he would walk ahead. And I would be like, text him, be like, yo, did you see that shot, bro? But it's all love because I know several of the guys on that Emporia team, got nothing but love for them. But yeah, it's always fun to kind of include a little shit talk every now and then.
Of course.
No,
I was wanting to ask you, speaking of, you're talking about college disc golf kind of making a bigger scene. What do you think the state of disc golf is looking like this season? Do you have any feelings on it, or
Pro Tour?
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll say Pro Tour.
Okay. I mean, I feel like fandom is growing. I feel like more and more people are like watching and aware and playing and all that stuff. But I don't think anyone's gonna like lie and say disc golf hasn't seen like a little bit of I don't know what the right word is, but we're not seeing that growth we had at COVID. Like everything slowed down. I would say across the board, it seems like you're seeing. I think a lot of companies either have to restructure deals or cut players. There are guys who don't have sponsors right now that it just kind of blows your mind that they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just less money in disc golf currently.
Yeah.
More people playing, but I think there's less money being spent. But it's kind of recycled money at the moment. You got sponsors that put money in, and then fans put it back in sponsors, and they put it back in. It's just like a loop. So we need more people playing and more people, kind of out there supporting and watching. But it's weird. It's like there's the money being put into it seems like it's slowed down, but you still have a lot of people out there watching and keeping up. So we're in a weird time, but still blessed to be able to play disc golf as my job and stuff like that. And you still see a lot of people out there, and the players are getting so much better, man. It's wild how good people are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into the GOAT season conversation of 2015 and 2024, but but the numbers of the competition of that was now like the ratings, like how many 120 plus rated compared to just 9 years ago. It's incredible how how good people are now.
For sure. I wonder also, I've had the thought like, all right, everybody says, well, competition's better now. If competition was, if how deep competition is now was there in 15 when Paul was putting up those rounds, are his rounds better at that time? I don't know.
That's what I had the same question actually, because just going off other ratings and stuff. Yeah. Like if other people are shooting hotter, is his rating going to be a little bit lower? Does that make sense?
It would be higher if he.
Oh, I guess it would.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been doing this for a long time. I still don't know. Hell, man, I don't know. They're like, and then anytime it is wild. I feel like Chuck Kennedy has to have like an alert set up on like all of his accounts anytime the word like whatever people talk about ratings, dude. The rating system, like he always, have you noticed he's always chiming in on comments? He's like, well, 1984 and there's no way it could be improved. And it's like, okay, nice.
Okay. I didn't realize that. No, it's funny.
Right. Always in the comments, like defending his whatever formula
system. Yeah. It's an unmeasurable measurable. Like it's almost it's insane. And I've had a guy that's pretty familiar with it try to explain it to me and like talk to me like I'm 5 years old. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't give whatever, dude. I'll find out next Tuesday.
Like trying to explain to him how like the budget thing works and everything. And then Michael Scott's like, so explain it to me like I'm 5.
Exactly.
He's trying to tell him how the lemonade stand, he uses lemonade. Shoot, what is it? Whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, explain it to me like I'm 5.
Dude, I haven't
times, bro, and I'm like, yeah, still sounds whack.
I've had it explained to me multiple times as well, and I don't understand it. The rating system will forever be a mystery, even though like I live my life by it. Whenever I play a tournament, I worship it. I'm like, oh, what rating did I get? And still don't really know. I'm just chasing something that I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that every round you shoot doesn't go on your rating, that if it's like too low, like it cannot affect it. I'm just like, that is wild to me.
Yeah,
Like,
that
if
is.
play around PDGA sanctioned play and complete it, why would it not go on your rating? It's like, oh no, it's actually too low, so it doesn't count. Like, what do you mean it doesn't count?
Well, I'll just go ahead and say thank God for that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm about to drop an 835.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure something like that.
Sounds like that Kennedy guy's hooking us up. That's what it sounds like to me.
Dude, he definitely. There's no way it could be any better.
Hey, real quick, do you have the most recognizable look in disc golf?
I might. I think James with the beard and the ponytails up there too.
Yeah, I was trying to think earlier. Like Barsby had that thing where a silhouette of like the chipped tooth. I thought that was sick.
Yeah, that was race that thing.
That's pretty good. But I mean, if you're just going off a bushy hair, a pair of sunglasses, there's no question as to who that is
Yeah,
in disc golf.
I
And that's just two things that you need.
It's the best mini stamp in the game.
It is, buddy.
Thank
It
you,
is.
dude. Kevin Schaefer, bro. Shout out Kev Schaefer.
Right there.
He still works there, and he came up with that in 2017.
Love it.
It's the best mini stamp in the game for sure.
Him in the glasses, and I was like, it's perfect.
Who has the cooler dog, or which dog is cooler, Hogan or Sam? I wanted to ask you since you know both of them.
Oh, Hogan for sure.
Cooler dog. Okay.
He's bit way less people than Sam.
He wins by default just because he bites less people.
Oh, Hogan has bit some people though to be a chill dog.
Right.
I watched that man walk up to Chris Clemens at Portland Open a few years ago. Chris was sitting on the ground. He walks right up to him. Chris is like loving on him, petting him. All of a sudden, Hogan just turns around and goes and grabs his face. I was like, oh. But yeah, Sam's a little crazy. Now, if you're in Sam, like if you're one of Sam's homies, he's cool with you. But if you're not, he's a little cray-cray.
Yeah.
That's Blue Healer though. I mean, that's just their MO, right? Like they have their little clique of people, and then if you're outside that clique, they're not cool with you.
Exactly. Like, I love Sam, but
if you tried to call Chris Dickerson on a time warning or something, the dog growls at you.
He's all bark. He's all bark.
Or Dickerson growls at you even. That'd be wild.
All bark.
You said you mentioned pickleball. We know you love pickleball. It's something I've been wanting to get into for probably over a year now. Could you give me, and I know a lot of our listeners probably are interested too, like recommendations on where to start, like the equipment? Do we need to go spend the big money on the paddle? Do we need to just go mid-grade? What would you recommend?
So obviously pickleball is a little more expensive than disc golf for sure, right? You've got paddles that are really expensive, but you don't need that. I mean, starting out, you can literally go buy like a $40 or $50 paddle and literally just go to random courts, local courts. I'm sure there's courts probably close to anybody, and just go jump in and play with some old folks that are out there in the morning, dude. Just go try it, because I guarantee you'll have fun. They are. That's how I started. I loved it. And occasionally, like here at home, I still go play with them in the morning, and it's super fun, very enjoyable. They talk a little smack. They're out there having fun. And I mean, I think you'll get hooked. Like, to me, playing pickleball reminds me of when I was starting out playing disc golf. It's like an ant for fun, there's no expectations. Like, I literally can go out and lose and still have a blast. Like, it's still fun. Disc golf, like the Pro Tour, I'm not going to say it's that fun all the time. Look at the courses we play, the length of them, how often we're playing, it really does feel like more of a job, and you kind of lose that, oh, this is really fun to play disc golf. It's more like I have to play disc golf. But pickleball is that, like, I feel like I am playing disc golf again, just super fun. Go out and play whenever. If you buy a paddle, you can go show up and play with anybody anytime folks are playing. And it's I don't know. To me, I was hooked. It's very enjoyable, and I love it. So,
it must be much funner than disc golf because it's more popular. How is it? Is it that much cooler than disc golf?
I mean, I definitely have more fun playing pickleball than disc golf, but like I think that has to do with like where I have to play disc golf a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Now when we're home, like we go play, like me and Chris, like our buddies out here at home, like we'll go play a lot of our local courses, and they're not, we don't have to pull out a driver 16 out of 18 holes, like it's nothing like that. So I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Are people as welcoming as in pickleball as maybe disc golf? Because we have a course that I drive by on my way to play Tuesday Dubs when on my way home, and every Tuesday evening during the summer, there's probably over 100 people there. I mean, it's
At the
packed.
pickleball course?
They got like 8 courts there, and I mean, it's crazy. Like and I've always thought, well, I wonder if I showed up if people would be cool. You know what I mean? But I've never really. Are they as welcoming in pickleball?
Yeah, no, I think that's the one thing that really drew me to it is like the community is very similar. You can literally have a doctor and a janitor become like best friends just showing up and wanting to play. Just like you can go to disc golf course, show up to hole 1 and someone comes up and like, hey, can I play with you? And like everybody's always like, yeah, let's play.
Yeah.
Very similar communities. I mean, you always have like a couple bad eggs, who probably think you have it in disc golf too, right? People who think they're too cool or too good to play with the other people. But, I've encountered a couple of people who are kind of weird like that in pickleball, but for the most part, everybody's really cool. Same as disc. Very welcoming.
Yeah, you probably go to that pickleball court and see somebody in a tie-dye shirt rolling a joint on the paddle. And you're like, oh, it's just like disc golf. Okay, yeah.
Hilarious.
These guys will be all right.
Oh, they're probably chill.
Yeah. Have you ever had any weird interactions with fans or either weird or like aggressive? Because I know you do a lot of clinics and stuff, and I don't know, anything weird like that ever happen at a clinic or just even out on the road traveling?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to put this guy on blast, but I was at Worlds in Virginia this year. I was in the bathroom at the urinal peeing, and a guy said, "Hey Zach, would you sign a disc for me?" And I was like, "I will when I get done."
That's crazy.
That's before while I was literally taking a piss at the urinal. That was a first. But yeah, that's probably up there.
That's crazy. You should have just peed on whatever he had out and just turned around and peed on it.
You should have just turned right towards him and go, sure.
Yeah. You idiot.
Oh, sorry. I like one-handed to be like, yeah, hand it to me,
Yeah. Has anyone ever had you sign anything weird? What's the weirdest thing you've ever had to put a signature on?
Would someone's butt count?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Wait, whoa. Was that at Worlds too?
In Emporia, yeah.
That was me.
You're like, it was him.
That you?
Yeah.
So that's a great story. We were in Emporia. We just finished playing. I don't know. We're in the parking lot of Country Club, and that was when they had the pros parked there, which was kind of a nightmare because everybody just walks through the parking lot, so you can't really get away from people. And me and Chris are talking in the parking lot, and this dude walks up, and he is just hammered, right? He is Bonzo. And he looks at me and Chris, and he's like, "Dude, we all saw my butt. Sign, dude, y'all got to sign my ass, dude. You got to do it."
You got to do it.
And I look at Chris, I'm just thinking like, Chris, I'm thinking like, there's no way I want to do this. So I look and I say, well, if Chris will do it, I'll do it. I come out of it, right? We're good.
Yeah.
It goes, I guess so. I was like, what?
Wow.
And said, yeah. So Chris said, yeah. And so dude turns around and like, you can literally see like kind of like his crack. And me and Chris signed like the top of each cheek.
I can't believe Chris was the one. I mean, I wouldn't have thought he would have been the one that's like, all right, I'll do it.
If I had to pick one person on the tour that would get me out of doing that by saying no, I would have said Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is an easy way for me to say no without saying, I'm like, I'll do it if Chris will. This man goes, sure. Okay. I'm like, oh my God. No.
What? I was banking on you saying no.
Gotta find this dude's sweaty butt now. It's crazy.
You think Chris did it just to make you do it?
I couldn't believe. I don't know. Maybe he just had a rough day on the course, and he's like, you know what? I just need to let team, sign a butt. I don't know.
This is what I deserve. This is where I'm at in my career.
I've signed someone's face. That was a good
Okay.
one. And then also at Deagle this year, I signed someone's baby. That was cool.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
Not like on the skin. It's not like weird, like their onesie. They just.
Sure.
It was kind of odd though. They like just rolled the baby over like it was a football. Like, all right,
Yeah, right here. Okay.
oh, that's cool. Just do it. I'm like, all right.
Oh, that's great.
You got any plans for commentary this year? Are you going to work with Joaz, or maybe get back with dgpt and be on the course? Or
Jomez I was kind of just a sub, kind of last minute both times. Well, the one at OTB was kind of planned. That was like 3 weeks ahead of time, and Yuli knew Germ wasn't going to be there and asked me to do it, and ended up working with them and making it happen, getting me out to California because I wasn't going to be there initially. And then the one at Deglow was very last minute, but I'm kind of glad it happened. It was super fun. I really enjoyed it. And also I had a fun time doing the on-course at Music City. And they've already reached out to me about maybe being able to do it a couple more times this year. Unfortunately, they wanted me to run it back at Music City, but that is the same weekend as College Nationals.
Oh,
I won't be able to do that because I definitely want to be there with the squad for Nationals. But I am definitely open to do it some more. I had a good time doing it, and I got a lot of good feedback from it,
oh yeah, I mean everybody seemed like they loved it on Joaz and on course. So
the reviews were raving.
Everyone was just lying to me, and it was a prank.
Did you know Trevor picked up on this a couple months back? Did you know you had a voice doppelganger?
I did not.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so you don't look similar, but you sound strikingly similar to Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Bro, let's go. That's a
Hold on.
Hang on a second.
I may even have it, hopefully, if it's still pulled up. Yeah, see if you can hear this.
Every night I'll say, how many people is your first time seeing Limp Bizkit? The whole place raises their hand. How many people are under 30 years old? The whole place raises their hand. I think the people who grew up liking Limp Bizkit probably are a little older, and they'd probably rather me do a Paul Newman and give them some salad dressing or some soap. They're not listening to that kind of music.
That's not bad. That's pretty bad.
I think it's pretty similar.
He's a little twang in there, but like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he's a Florida boy.
There are worse people to sound like,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. It's cool to sound like the guy that started a riot in Woodstock.
Yeah. Solid choice.
Yeah. But I mean, who cooler to sound like than the guy that wrote Break Stuff,
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that he sounds like me,
That's more like it anyways, honestly.
Do you have any, I'm just going to reach, you got any rumors or anything you can hook us up with? Where's Ken Climo going? How many people is Discraft going to be able to keep because everybody's free agents?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Discraft has 58 people on their tour team.
And they're just going to keep having that.
On at least like 17 more people. It's crazy. I don't know what they're getting paid, but they're on there. That's wild. I feel like half the tour is sponsored by Discraft now, which is kind of cool to see because like when I first started traveling, they had like 4 tour players, I almost signed with them back in 2017. Almost.
Wow.
I was picking between Dynamic and Discraft. I ended up choosing Dynamic, but it was close. It was close.
Who was on their team then? Was Fish still on the team?
Fish was Innova a really long time ago when I first met him. I'm not sure. He might have been early Discraft by then. I think it's possible. Really, the only people they had was like Nate Dawson. Fish didn't travel. They had Doss and MJ. That was it. I think Ken Climo is signing with Lightning Disc. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Lightning Disc.
Pretty sure he's making Lightning Disc great again.
What I mean, do you see? We've already spoke about this, but do you see if they paid this? I mean, no disrespect, and if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. Is there going to be, if they paid him a decent amount, is there going to be ROI? Is there going to be a return of investment with that? I mean, are the old heads that love Ken Climo that throw T-birds? they're not going to quit throwing fucking T-birds. You know what I mean? The old heads, they don't switch molds just because he switched a company. So I just don't. I mean, I understand like the first runs of whatever company it is that says it's the new King Climo for collectors that could sell. But after that, is there going to be? Is it going to be a moneymaker?
I don't think so. I don't get it. I'm with you. No disrespect, because I love Kenny. I've gotten to play with him a handful of times. Like, Kenny's the man, dude. He's the GOAT. He's one of them. I throw that term around, but I think there's just too much comparison. Paul's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Barry's Dawson's the GOAT. You know, we got a bunch of GOATs out there. But I don't see how a big contract would benefit any company signing Kenny now, because Kenny doesn't play. There's how many people who play disc golf now who started at the pandemic even know who King Climo is? Because I know for a fact there are kids on Milligan's team. I like referenced Climo one day, and they're like, nothing. I was like, y'all don't know who King Climo is? And they're like, no. I'm like, sweet Jesus, what is it? Yeah, so I don't care to comment on it. Like, I legit don't see how that would be beneficial to a company. But if a company wants to do it, fantastic. You know, nothing wrong with seeing the old guard getting taken care of. But I'm kind of with you. I don't really understand it, but I would love to really know exactly what happened between him and Innova. I know he has said multiple times he left. They did not cut. You know, he made sure to throw that out there. You know, we've all seen people, you know, have a split happen, you know, bad breakup, and the dude's like, no, I left her. She did not do
it. That's what it is. It was a bad marriage that ended. They've been together 25 years.
They're longer than most marriages.
Longer than most marriages. So they made it a pretty good while.
Props to them. They beat the odds.
Yeah, I found it pretty humorous that like Innova's post was so nice and so like, we love him and we always will love him. And then one person posts on Facebook about they're making room for Isaac Robinson and Ken, or his joint account. It's like, oh fuck no, I left there.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
I saw that too. It was hilarious. Like their post was classy. It was nice. Yeah. Not everybody does that, and they did a really good job. And he was like, I want to make sure everybody knows I left him.
She cheated on me.
Yeah. Caught her in bed with someone else.
Yeah. Who were some of the pros that you were looking up to when you, like, what year did you start?
I started playing in like 2007 ish.
Okay.
First started playing pdga tournaments 2009. Played like 4 advanced tournaments, and then I started playing regional stuff, started playing pro. At that time, the rules were different. If you took any cash, you were professional.
Okay.
Nowadays, you can still take cash and still play if your rating's low enough. Is that correct?
I don't.
No, I think if you accept cash, you even if you play MPO, you have to deny the cash if you want to like try to play an amateur championship or whatever.
But rating wise, it's like I think back then, I don't know. I feel like I just didn't know that you could just like wait and play a couple big game events, you know? And so like, I didn't know about Bowling Green AMs. I didn't know about MNATs. I didn't do it. So at the end of that 2009 year, I went and played like a C tier in Virginia and got last cash, got like $40 back. I was like, heck yeah, I'll take it. And so then pro, you know? But no, played, you know, started back then, played a lot regionally. Thought I was playing a lot in like 2012 when I got up in like the 990s and almost got to 1,000. I thought like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. But, you know, I played Worlds in Charlotte that year and I got like 99th or something. You know, I tied, me and Terry Miller tied. And I got to play a round with Johnny V at Rennie Gold. I think that would have been round 4. I don't know. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday. But I can remember. I don't know if all disc golfers are like that, but
so you're saying like 2012-ish. So that was like pre-Paul, right before Paul. So who were the pros that you were looking up to, kind of trying to model their play, or any lefties out there that were notable that you were kind of paying attention to?
So there was a lefty from California named Derek Billings. He was good. he was like one of Drew's buddies, like when Drew was a little kid, like he was in that little group of buds. Derek could throw it a mile. He was a good lefty, but there really weren't any like kind of, I don't want to say relevant, but like kind of relevant lefties at the time.
Yeah.
Minus like Devin Owens was kind of getting good then. I guess I shouldn't disrespect Dev. Dev was good because he almost won Copenhagen Open. He was like 3 dead center spit outs from winning that major, which
Wow.
I think Will won or somebody won. But I was actually good buddies with Will. Been friends with Will for a long time. I met Will in 2010, the year that he won his first U.S. title. I met him kind of around that time at like a team match play event where I live, like here in Fall Branch. It wasn't actually at Harmon Hills. It was at Fossil Hill, which is a course that isn't there anymore. And then so I kind of kept in touch with Will and all that. Like by the time I was trying to play like Worlds and stuff like that, me and him like were pretty good friends. And, I kind of got to chat with him and stuff like that. But the pro that I really looked up to is Nate Doss. He was like my fave. Nate's like your favorite pro's favorite pro. You know what I mean? He's like totally professional, loved his game. It was just simple, just classy. He's funny dude. He's hilarious. If you ever get to hang out with him, get him talking. He's a storyteller, dude. He is hilarious. He tells this story about being in Europe and some dude throwing some sweaty jock strap and hitting Germ in the face, and it
You gotta get him on.
Oh, so you gotta get Nate on.
Definitely.
But Nate was the one that I really looked up to. Finally got to play with him, and it was just so cool. Got to play with him on lead card at USDGC.
Yeah.
I think like 2016, I think.
Hell yeah.
And that was really cool,
I bet.
but no,
USDGC Nate Doss would be something to play with. You know what I mean?
he didn't
How
have.
many?
He actually had a rough round, but seeing him stay professional the whole time and not throw a fit and not throw a pity party or rage or anything like that, just seeing him kind of take his licks was really cool. Like it was, something to aspire to. It's like
Right.
good act. Everybody's cool when they're playing good. How do you play? How do you act when you're playing bad?
Yeah.
And that was
like a child.
Do you?
from him.
I got a question now. Speaking of playing with people that may have bad attitudes, have you ever seen someone's poor attitude make them play better?
Oh man, actually, no.
Yeah, I know, right? It's interesting how that works.
Not once, not never.
All right, answers that pretty quick.
We're going to run you through the gauntlet before we get you off here. This is some questions.
Question. I don't want to have to plead the fifth at all. So,
okay, we got you.
Well, I think I know the answer to the first one. Your home course. What do you consider your home course?
I think I consider Warriors Path my home course. Harmon Hills is here in our backyard. Me and Chris played all the time, right? But Warriors is technically I played Borden Park, which is like this little pitch and putt in Kingsport. But I played it for like a month, like every day, 3 times a day, and then I discovered Warriors Path, and that's where like I feel like I kind of took off, where I got better and started playing a lot, because it still would be considered shorter, but it's at the time it seemed a lot harder, starting out. It's definitely Warriors Path.
Is Cliffside getting beat in any? Last time I played it, it was pretty fresh and it was tough.
She's still tough. It's been seasoned a little bit. We that storm came through, dropped a couple trees on some of those holes, but Cliffside is still tough, man. It's if you miss, there's just way more to deal with than the lakefront side. But I love Cliffside. It's so fun.
Yeah, I like it. We I screwed up bad. We were playing the River Valley Masters a couple years ago whenever they first opened it, and I wasn't aware that you were supposed to go down the fairway on 4. Come in basket side.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We went around the rock side, and I had a cart with me. Didn't fucking work, man.
Oh.
I had a yard sale down the cliff. It was brutal.
Did he roll into the lake?
No, I got stopped, thank God, because I roll I'm a big boy, so I roll very easy. And but I did get stopped. But yeah, it was a mess, man.
What's the lake? What?
Do what?
Did you realize how close the lake was over there?
I did whenever I stopped and looked down. Yeah, for sure.
You were close to going about another 80 feet down to the lake.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's a straight drop off right there.
You ever seen Black Sheep where he's falling down that mountain and he's holding on to that root and he's like, please, little root, please stay strong. And then it rips and he just keeps tumbling down the mountain. Cliffside.
What's your favorite course you've ever played?
It's probably the Lair course at Lake Marshall. Lake Marshall, which is up in Virginia, Montrose, Virginia. It's got 3 courses. The Lions course is the course that we played for the Silver Series like 3 years ago.
I remember it. Yeah.
Whenever Macy got that ace.
Mhm.
But the Lair course is the wooded one, and it's Lions is considered the championship. Lair is considered like blue level, but they still got like the hardest wooded par 5, or one of the hardest wooded par 5s I've ever played. Like it's a really cool woods course with par 3s, par 4s, par 5s. It's probably my fave.
I have to check it out. I still need to play all those courses up in Kingsport area and all.
Yeah, you do.
Tri-Cities and
Got some good ones.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Zach.
How far away are you guys?
Hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're just we're in Kingston.
What the hell are y'all doing?
I don't know. I've never played Harmon. He's played a lot of them. I've never played any of them.
Do you even like disc golf?
I thought I did until I had this conversation with you right now, and now I'm starting to think maybe I don't.
Like week?
What's that?
Did you just start this week? Like
I know. I don't know, man. I'll get around to it. I'll play it this year.
Dude, challenge. You better get these courses in, bro. How can you not play Harmon? It's the best course in the state.
I know. I don't know how I've managed to not play it this whole time. I almost played it when we were on our way to USDGC, but we played some other course in Bristol. Anyway,
So you made a mistake.
we made a mistake. I was really wanting to play, but the guys I went with were like, "No, we've played Harmon before. Let's play this one." And I was like, "Fuck, I want to play Harmon Hills, dude."
Those dudes sound lame.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Aside from that,
Yeah, that sounds like a horrible choice.
it was. I forget the Hollow.
Sugar Hollow.
Sugar Hollow.
Oh.
is what we played.
Oh, it was really good.
It was a cool course.
I don't see anyone deciding between Sugar and Harmon and saying, let's go out of the way to Sugar instead of playing.
I can assure you they're both listening to this right now and understanding how stupid they
Screw
really are.
those guys, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly. Is it 2 guys?
Yeah, just go ahead. Alex and Mike.
Alex and Mike sound real dumb.
They suck. They listen to this show.
They have to be dumb.
They doing? No, but dude, they put in a lot of work at Harmon. There's 36 holes. And now I think Tim has gotten red tees put in on every hole. So that's, 36 new tee pads, right? Then we have the gold overlay, which is like super legit, kind of pro tour style. And then we have a little blue tees course, which is like a glow ace run type, like 80 foot to 120 foot holes.
Wow.
Played glow like a couple of nights ago for like that MVP ace race type thing they did.
Mhm.
So it's pretty wild. There's a lot going on out there.
Yeah, I was about to say you could play that course and you shouldn't complain about any difference of disc golf. Like it's all there.
Yeah.
If you want beginner.
I'll tell you,
I didn't want to play it. Makes sense now.
19 through 36, the other side of the road,
Uh-huh.
it's a fucking challenge.
It's tough. It's tight.
Yeah, it's a challenge, man. It can get brutal.
I'll
Have you
be the
played
judge of that.
gold holes?
The pole holes, is that what you said?
No. Have you played any of the gold holes?
Oh, no. I think I played the red layout, I think was what I played.
So in the gold layout, I can't remember what number it is. It might be like hole 6, but you play the first hole across the street, 19 to 20, which we have a
Jesus.
carved out on the right, but it's crazy good par 4. And then the next hole we play 21 to 22, which is another par 4. That uphill.
Yes, that's a tough. Yeah.
Imagine going further. We carved out a little tunnel through the woods, and it goes up and then to the left. That next bit. Those 2 holes are crazy good and hard.
Yeah, the whole side of the road ate my lunch. I didn't. Luckily, I didn't have to play it for the tournament, but we played a practice round over there, and it was just it was tough. It was tough, but I love Harmon. I've only got to play it a couple of times. I I really enjoy winged deer. There's so many courses up there that's just they're so fun.
We got a nice variety.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I think a lot of credit goes to Tim. All the work he's put in around here for as long as he's been doing it, running our club, kind of growing the scene. The more disc golfers you get, I think the more like the cities realize, we need more courses and whatever. Winged deer, they hosted U.S. Women's in 2017, and that kind of the city loved seeing all the people come out. I think at the time it was the biggest U.S. Women's ever recorded, and which that's been a few times, but at the time it was really cool. The city loved it. I think they hosted a Masters Worlds a couple of years ago. Does that sound right? 2-3 years ago? Harmon. Yeah, they use Harmon here. So I think just the people, the OGs who have put in the time. Paul Dozier, a bunch of guys around here who have just, kind of put in the legwork early on, and now everybody's kind of getting to reap the benefits.
Yeah, because I mean, I've always heard about the scene up there and how strong it is. Obviously, like I said, I haven't made it up that way, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, you got Chris Dickerson,
Macy
making it out of that area. It's pretty wild to think about. Small area in Tennessee.
Yeah, Wes Isaacs, who was a 1,000 rated pro, sponsored by Latitude, world putting champ. He was from here. He doesn't really play anymore. Jason Light, Tic Tac, Tim Alston, those are the guys that I learned from, and those were all 1,000 rated good players from this little small area. So it's cool to see like how many good players have come from like a tiny area.
Yeah.
A lot different than Charlotte having a bunch of golfers when they have populace,
Yeah. There was and this is I don't have this in the notes. This is just off the top of the head. I was at Throwmore, and you were there one day, and there was a guy there that was putting, and I swear I think he made 50 or 60 putts in a row from like 30 foot. And you told me and Damon, I know you know Damon. He's also a friend of mine.
Unfortunately,
you told me, yeah. You said that he was the best disc golfer that doesn't play disc golf or something like that, or the best disc golfer that I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said he could probably go on tour and win plenty of tournaments. And I can't remember what his name was. This a normal built guy, but I swear he drained 60 30-footers in a row.
Was it me? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I did give you a compliment because I sat there and watched you putt one time, and for 20 putts in a row from 30 foot, you hit the same link, and that blew my mind. I was like, "How is he hitting the same link 20?" I mean, it was crazy.
What are you, professional or something?
That doesn't sound like me. But.
You did. I mean, it blew my mind. I was like, "How the fuck is he hitting that same link every time?"
I probably blacked out. I don't remember.
All right. Have you ever been called for a courtesy violation?
I'd have called one on myself once. Does that count?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
No, not like
cool, but
like yelled after a shot. And I was like, "I'm sorry, guys. I'll warn myself if you want me to." And they all just looked at me like, "What's wrong with this person?"
Have you ever called anybody else on one?
And I almost warned that group for not warning me, honestly.
You're like, all right.
Like Paige Pierce, y'all better be fucking watching. I just
yeah.
The hell you guys doing? You not hear me yell just now?
Yeah. You guys aren't doing your damn jobs. Stroke all of them for not calling you.
Listen.
That's interesting. Yeah. Have you ever had to call anybody on a?
No. So, man, there was a situation, Peoria Worlds, so 2019. I'm a firm believer. Like if I see something, I'm going to say something before the person throws her putts, because I don't understand why you would watch if it's like, you can see it before.
Ultimate benefit goes to the player move.
Well, I mean, if it happens like as they throw, it's like then you call it afterwards. But if I see something, right, this kid I was playing with was lined up. He's putting out of the woods, out of the rough. And to me, I thought it looked like his stance was wrong. So instead of just watching him putt and then saying something after, I told him before. I said, "Hey, man, I think you might need to pull your right foot back." And he looks down at it. He looks at me and he like shoves his head and he like backs off and he's like, whatever. And he lines back up and he misses the putt, donks it from like 18 feet, walks up, slams his putter and walks away. And I was just like, "Oh, wow, this will be fun," And so we get to the next tee box, and I'm just like keeping score. I'm like, "What'd you get?" And he like doesn't say anything. I'm like, "What'd you get? What'd you get?" I'm like, and then he's like, "5." I'm just like, "Oh, okay." So then, me being the nice person I am, I proceeded to just tell him nice throw and nice shot and nice putt for the next 9 holes in a row on every time he threw and putted.
Yeah.
Probably a bad move on my part, but I did it.
Were some of these missed shots or missed putts too? You were.
I was just like, "Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, almost got that one. Oh." I decided to be a smart ass because he got mad at me for trying to help him. And then he came up to me after the round. He goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry I got mad. Like, I thought you were trying to work me, and then, I was mad at it, and then you just started nice and everything, and it just, it was a little much." I was like, "Yeah," I said, "I did that on purpose. Sorry." Reacted poorly. And he goes, "Yeah, I got my group chat and I told everybody what happened, and they were like, bro, Melton wouldn't do that to work you. It sounds like he actually was trying to stop you before you."
They were trying to give you benefit of the doubt.
And then he was like, "Yeah, my bad on that." I was like, "Well, cool. I appreciate you saying sorry. And I guess I'm sorry for being a turd. But once you got mad at me, I just decided to be dick." But
Dude, that's pretty much my go-to. Anytime anyone's called me out on anything, just be like a little snot asshole about it. Just keep pushing. That's such a shithead move too. Whenever someone's like, "Hey, can you stop?" and you're like, "Hey, can you stop?"
I can play that game better than anybody. So
I'd imagine.
they want that started, we can start that. You know what I mean? People think I have no filter. I hold a lot of stuff back. I'm nice.
Yeah.
But just push me over that edge and I will. So we have this tournament called the Vol Cup. It's a team event. It's the one that I met Will at a long time ago, but it just happened at Harmon this past week. You know that course that you don't want to play. So 9-person team, non-sanctioned, just super fun match play. And I literally talk nonstop from the time I get to the course until I leave. Like I love it. Macy, you're literally in your element out here, aren't you? And I'm like, the happiest I am all year.
Yeah.
I can't be stroked or warned or, DQ'd for just talking nonstop shit to people. I love it. But no, I have a filter. I hold a lot of stuff back, but if you kind of poke me, I can be a dick. I can do it.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear if you don't want to play the game.
Best and worst basket.
See, I think that depends on how you putt.
No, that's true.
It's fair.
Favorite and my least favorite, right? Because I think best and worst is like, it's just, if you're Gannon, then you need something with like 48,000 chains in there to hold your 9 or putt.
Does Gannon love Prodigy baskets? Because you figured they would suit his game well.
Probably does, but he probably wouldn't say it now since he left.
Sure. Sure.
Right, everybody's so like. I want to say, I don't want to name names, but screw it. I love him and we give each other crap. Eric used to be with DD. Oh my God, Eric was like, "Oh, this is the best disc that's ever been made. No, this is the one. This is the best." And now Eric's not with us, and it's crazy. He doesn't say our discs are the best discs ever made. So.
Isn't that just weird?
It's crazy, but I love you, Eric.
Saying it about some other brand now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, now Infinite has the best driver ever.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite basket is a Mach X. I like the Mach X. For whatever reason, I like how it catches my putt. I always feel like it seems like it's wider and it catches my putt for whatever reason, like weak side, strong side. I don't know. I just like it. And my least favorite will always be the Mach 30.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says, bro. That is literally playing putting roulette.
Is that what we have at the local course?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, our local course has that, and yeah, can confirm they suck.
People can, with the exact same putt, same speed, can hit the same spot, bro, and one of them's going to stay and one of them's going to rock it back out off the pole. It's faster than it went in.
Yeah, we actually have that problem. We call it the course we play at it's called Loudon Municipal Park, and whenever we have putts that bounce off the pole and out, we call it the Loudon pole dance.
I love it.
So, yeah. We've even given it a little name because those baskets are bad. I think I would still maybe pick that basket over any Prodigy though, or at least the ones that are really tough.
Yeah, the first Prodigies the chains were too heavy. Those did not work.
The T1s, they're awful.
Yeah, the T1 chains also like they, I think eventually they added like these little screws in the bottom of the pole that would hold the chains up.
Yeah.
Which helped. But before they did that, Prodigy was actually the main sponsor at the U.S. Women's we hosted here. And so we had, they sent T1s for us to have at each course that the FBO played. And I was a marshal, believe it or not. Isn't that hilarious? They had me walk around the course. I did nothing. But I was there.
Fucking shit.
So very first hole of U.S. Women's, a hole at Winged Deer Park. I think it's hole 10. Elaine King threw a drive, came up short, ran like a 70-footer, missed it. Elaine doesn't, it flopped right beside it. She legit, I kid you not, I could have reached and dropped my putter in the cage. But, Elaine's a little short or whatever, so she marks her putter and she tosses it like this. Whoop, and it literally goes, whoop, pushed it out. First hole of the tournament, she takes bogey, and she looked at me like, oh my God.
Oh, dude.
Well, I was like, I'm gonna go walk with another card. Yeah, they fixed them though. The T2s are good.
Have you ever met anybody who is, because you'll know more than anybody, who just loves the Prodigy baskets, who's just like, I think they knocked it out of the park with the basket design? I've always wondered this. I've asked a lot of people this question.
I want to be a turd and say that Chris loves them.
You could lie.
But he doesn't. Okay, I'll lie. Chris loves.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our first clip right there.
Yeah. He's actually got this painting on the wall at his house, this mural. And it's a T1, actually.
He's actually going back to Prodigy.
Oh no.
Be right back.
Be right back.
My back.
There he is.
You're back.
He's back.
Madison
You're
Walker
good.
tried to ruin the show.
Dude.
Damn. Should have told her to come on.
Yeah, you should have just, yeah.
She
I love
sucks.
how I do love how Madison Walker called and you were like, no, I don't have time. I got with courtesy violation boys right now. I love that.
Priorities, right?
Yep.
The pod right now, you aren't committed to playing Harmon. It's fine.
I'm playing.
What's the worst disc you've ever thrown?
That's hilarious. Oh my God. I picked up some disc at Throw More off the used rack. And it was some putter. It felt literally god awful. It was the worst thing I've ever felt. And I threw a putt with it and it hyzer flipped and turned before it got to the basket. I don't know how it ever be feasible for anyone. Like imagine how hard putting is with straight putters and heavy putters and putters that are predictable. And imagine if you just didn't know what your putter was going to do ever.
You don't know what the name of it was?
I wish I knew the name of it, and it felt horrible too, but it's hysterical. I was like, wow, this would we think putting's too easy. I don't want everybody just get these to putt with.
Yeah, are you familiar with is it Wish's brand discs? It's like UFO discs.
Oh, yeah.
The
Eagle wigs. Or it's like the names of the discs are like just fucked up broken English words. Like Eagle wigs is the name of one disc. Is it like Eagle wings, I guess?
Stop, actually. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. The one that just came to mind, that Lone Star disc, like Super Dillo or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Someone tried to tell me, like, oh, dude, that thing's so straight. And I'm like, bro, it's like this big. What do you need that? There's no way.
It's like a Zephyr. You remember the Zephyrs?
Yeah, except it doesn't fly in a Zephyr.
Yeah, it's way less glide.
Yeah, it has no glide. That's true. Yeah,
like
it's
a
just
32-inch Berg.
Yeah. So I guess what do you think Lone Star is going to do this year? since we're talking Lone Star.
They just keep like 3 years ago they had 98 players on payroll and now they've got like 4. They just keep losing. I don't know what's happening over there. I mean,
if you go to their website and look at their players, it looks pretty grim.
Yeah. So like, Music City used to be sponsored by DD. Like that was one of their events. And then like, I think it was 2 years ago. Cause I wasn't playing because of my knee injury. I'd had surgery. I showed up. I drove down there to kind of walk and caddy for people and kind of hang out. Walked with Calvin, walked with some of our ladies, with Macy. But it was sponsored by Lone Star that year. And I was like, what happened? And they said, oh, well, dude just wanted to have his name on a tournament. Right. So whatever the sponsorship fee is, I don't know. Let's say it's like let's say it's like 20 grand, right? Maybe to get your name on it, sponsor or whatever. I think he like tripled it. He just like
Jesus.
gave him an offer they couldn't refuse. Like
Oil money.
Yeah, oil money. That's what that Texas money.
Yeah.
But now I don't know what's happening. Keep losing folks. I mean, Emerson won a pro tour event for him 2 years ago, and he dropped Emerson. And I'm like, well, if that, what do you got to do to be on that team?
Yeah.
You got to be Nico LaCastro, whatever that means to anybody, because I don't know. We'll see what Nico's doing this year. It's not unlike to hear. That's been since I've been a fan of disc golf since 2017. I think I've seen Nico with like 4 different sponsors. So you never know.
Way more than that.
Yeah, since 2017. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, since I've been playing, it's like, who has he not been sponsored by? Really? That's
Yeah.
Who's he not played for?
Fair.
Can you explain to us what the tour card gives you?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Not really.
Not much, right?
Tour card allows you to sign up for your events early. That's the biggest props for it. Like you purchase a tour card, you get to choose the events you want to play, and you get them paid for. You can sign up for them like that, and you're done. Your schedule's booked. I think that's like the biggest draw to it. Now there are perks that we are supposed to get at tournaments, right? Like player parking, food, drinks, kind of stuff like that. But honestly, I don't know. There's really no one there to stop people who don't have a tour card from using that stuff. So I mean, to me, being able to sign up for your tournaments and get it booked and get it done, that's huge. So if your sponsor is willing to pay, then it's worth it. But yeah, that's the main draw.
Is that something the sponsor usually pays for? Is the tour card?
Yeah, I would imagine most do.
Okay. Yeah, we were having that conversation earlier, and we had no clue what exactly the tour card covered. I thought that maybe it covered entrance fees to all the tournaments too. No.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but no.
Oh, well, surely it'd be all right. Dude, look at this little curl I got right here.
Oh,
how do you do this, Zach? Like, it's pestering me, dude.
Back up. I mean, yeah, y'all been doing this for an hour. This is my life.
How do you do it? We're scratching it. We're like, how do you live like this, dude?
Exactly. Y'all got a little bit more respect for me now.
Absolutely.
We got one more question, then we'll let you out of here. It's not even a question. We call it just a tip. Can you give us a tip, either mental, just a tip, just whatever for playing disc golf that you think would help most people in general?
That we're specific. Throw that out there, yeah. All right, I got one. This is something I picked up in a book. It's called Zen Golf. It's basically about the mental side of golf, but I think 97% of it translates to disc golf like the exact same way. But one of the things they said in there, it's I'm sure y'all been playing disc golf for a little bit. How many times have you been on the course and you see someone throw a bad shot or a bad putt and they say, "Oh, I didn't commit to that," right? I mean, I've heard it a billion times. I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard that. It's just like anytime it's a bad throw or bad putt, didn't commit. And it actually says that committing to a shot, let's say you have a death putt, right? You got a 40-footer, lake behind it, a little downhill, and it's like complete death putt. Committing to that putt means you commit to the fact that you can make it or you could miss. There's 2 options, right? Make or miss. There's no absolutes, right? Committing to it is knowing that both outcomes are possible and you are 100% on board with going for the putt and trying to make it. Executing is whether it goes in or not. That's why when you run that putt, let's say you yank it and you airball into that lake, you shouldn't react raging and throwing a fit and being like, "Oh my God," because if you committed, you know that if you don't execute, that could be a result. So like anytime I hear people say, I'm so over the, I didn't commit. Well, you don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know. I really like the way that was phrased, because committing and executing are 2 different things, but committing to a shot or a putt, whatever it may be, is like committing to the fact there are multiple outcomes and you have to be okay with all of them if you choose to throw for it. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That way, if you do miss it, you can't rage. You just have to be like, I expected that to happen. I accept the outcome. That's finding Zen, dude. That's tough to do, though.
It is tough. It is tough, but you do that, you are going to be a lot happier on the course, right? It's just, I don't know. It was one of my favorite takeaways from that book.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
awesome.
Because
Well,
if there's
Zach,
any doubt, lay that mug up. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're MA2, MA3. We're running them all, man, with no confidence of them going in.
Well, everybody, that's the great and powerful Zach Melton. We appreciate you coming, brother.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
We'll have you back on soon if you'll do it.
Yeah, but we should play around at Harmon
Let's do
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Scheduling it now.
in 3 years.
3. See you later, man.
See you, buddy.